So continuing on with the elimination method, I want to do one more example that was like the other two, just so you can maybe get a better idea of the simpler problems. 2x plus 5y equals 17. All right, so the goal is to add the equations, eliminate one of the variables. So if I were to add these two just as they are without making any changes, these two terms, the y terms are going to cancel. Negative 5y plus 5y adds to 0. So right off the bat, I can add and get 3x equals 18. Dividing by 3, x equals 6. All right, now I'm going to plug back in the 6 into one of these two equations. The first one looks a little easier than the second one, but it doesn't matter. Either one will work. 6 minus 5y equals 1. So yeah, I guess I'll move the 6 over there. So I'm going to get negative 5y equals 1 minus 6. Negative 5y equals negative 5, dividing by negative 5. So y equals positive 1. And our answer, our point, I'll put it right in the middle, is 6, 1. That would be the place where these two lines intersect if we were to graph them. All right, example 4. This one is a little different. Okay, so 3s plus 4t equals 18. Negative 2s plus 4t equals 8. In this case, if I were to just add them as they are, neither variable is going to cancel out because I'm going to get an s, I'm going to get an 8t. So I can't do that. That's not going to help me at all. Just looking at the t terms, they're almost alike, except, well, they're exactly alike, which is kind of the problem. I want one to be negative and one to be positive. That way I can add them and they're going to go to 0. What you can do is multiply either one of these equations through by a negative 1. So I'm going to multiply this guy by negative 1. I could have multiplied the first one by negative 1, would have worked the same way. Multiply either equation by negative 1. And then I'm going to rewrite the new system. So 3s plus 4t equals 18. Now when you multiply an equation through by a number, you have to multiply every term by that same number. So negative 1 times negative 2s is going to be positive 2s. Negative 1 times 4t is negative 4t. Basically, it's going to change all the signs. That's going to become a negative 8. Now, when I add these two, the t variable will drop out, and that's what I want. So adding, that's 5s 0 equals, adding this goes to 10, divide by 5, s equals 2. Okay, now I'm going to plug back into, I guess I'll just use the first equation, doesn't matter. So find t. 3 times 2 plus 4t equals 18. Plugging my solution for x into the first equation, 6 plus 4t equals 18. This is where your skills at solving equations are gonna come into play. So knowing how to do all those steps pretty fluently is important. And then I'm gonna move the 6 to the other side, minus 6. So I get 4t is 12, dividing by 4, t equals 3. So my answer is 2, 3. Remember to make these alphabetical. And I'm not going to check, I'm not checking here just so that I can squeeze some more examples in the time that I have. Okay, I think I'll just do one more. Let's do okay, how about 4y actually, let me rewrite this in standard form. 3x plus 4y equals 9, and then x plus 4y equals -7. Okay, so looking at what I have, first of all, they're both in standard form, so my variables line up the way I need them to. I can't add them directly the way they are because no variable is going to drop out. I'm going to get a 4x here and 8y here. So just like I did in example 4, I'm going to pick one of these two equations, multiply by a -1, because then I'll have a 4 and a -4. It doesn't matter which you choose to multiply. I'll multiply the second one, and then I get 3x plus 4y is 9. This is changing all the signs. -x minus 4y equals 7. Okay, now when I add them, 2x, 4y and -4y cancel, equals 16. So x equals 8. All right, I'm gonna plug into the second equation to find y. So let's see. 8 plus 4y equals -7. Move the 8 over, so I get 4y equals -7. Remember to change the sign when you move something across the equal sign. 4y equals -15. Don't freak out if you get a fraction, because sometimes you will. And they normally work out okay. Like when you go to check, it's normally not as bad as it might seem. So my answer is 8 and -15, 4. So I'm just going to leave it improper because it's already simplified.